Thank you, and thank you for taking us out of turn. I feel a little uncomfortable every time that happens. It happens at the State House, and yet we appreciate you giving us that consideration. And certainly good morning to you, Madam Chair, and to all the members of your distinguished panel here this morning. And so, we're here today because, we're concerned about some of the discussions that have been going on relative to patient limits in all hospital intensive care units. And so that's what brings this delegation here this morning. I don't think we have any nurses on the panel. We don't have any doctors on the panel. We don't have any hospital administrators amongst us. Who we do represent, though, is the Central Mass Legislative Caucus, and obviously members of the House of Representatives. And we had the great pleasure of unanimously on the House side, as on the Senate side, of passing this bill. And we believe that we clearly understood the language of this pretty simply written bill, which is great, because I think the simpler bills can be written, the greater the opportunity for all who are going to be impacted by a bill to understand what that bill's intentions are. And so our intention when we voted unanimously to support this bill was that all intensive care units, whether it be neonatal, pediatric, cardiac, adult, gerontology, you name it, all intensive care units would be covered by this 1-to-1 ratio relative to this piece of legislation. It's a little mind-boggling to me, if you would, that there is somehow, some way that this particular piece of legislation is being interpreted differently than that. As one of 160 legislators and several others to my right and left who voted on this bill, that was our understanding. So that's mainly why we're here today, is to make certain that all who are debating this now outside of the House of Representatives are as clear, that we can be as clear with all of you as we thought this bill was, right? It's clear, all intensive care units. So that's the number one point I would like to make this morning, and I believe that all of my colleagues are in support of that statement. Secondarily, there is discussions being heard, my understanding, that there seems to be some gray area when you talk about 1-to-1 ratio. As a legislator, that seems pretty straightforward to me as well. One patient, one direct care nurse. That's pretty clear. I understand that there is the potential for a second patient to be added to the direct care nurse's responsibilities, but that's based on the input from that direct service nurse or direct care nurse, the stability of the patient that particular nurse is caring for, and the overall stability of a potential second patient. I understand that there is development of an acuity tool, and I believe that that tool is to be used in conjunction with the nurse's input, not separate and apart from. So we felt very strongly that it was important for us to come here today and to just clearly define what we as legislators who voted, again, unanimously, both chambers, thought we were voting on, and what we were hoping would be the practice, the absolute crystal clear practice of all intensive care units, regardless of age, and that the 1-to-1 ratio be adhered to in every circumstance. And that's what we have for testimony this morning. And thank you all very much for giving us this opportunity to come in and present our position on this very, very important issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And